Hi there, how are you? Welcome back to M Talks. In this video today, we're going to focus on some of the common mistakes. Okay, let me rephrase that. People don't like to be pointed out about their mistakes. Common traps that people do when they are selling. Now, don't assume this is meant only for salespeople because everybody sells at some point of time or the other. For example, when we were young in school or high school, when we had to take permission from our dads to go hiking or to go for a party, what you did was convincing him and telling him it's going to be okay. Understood his motivation that he wants us to be safe, he wants us to come back home on time, and we sold the idea, right? Similarly, when you went for your first interview, you were selling your skills to the interviewer, right? Or let's look at a corporate body. Somebody, let's say a CEO of a company, he presents his companies, his thoughts, his projects, his ideas to investors to get them to invest with his company. That's selling, right? So selling does not limit itself to selling a product or selling a particular process or something like that. Selling is part and parcel of our lives right through. So let's go ahead and understand some of the common traps that salespeople or people who are selling fall into. Yeah. First and foremost, and this is something which happens automatically because it's part of human nature, which is profiling. We already categorize people based on a lot of parameters that we are actually used to. For example, we assume when somebody is dressed smart, he must be affluent. Somebody is not dressed so smart, maybe he's not. Somebody who talks well, we assume he's very well educated. And so many things that we actually profile people into. And it's a common mistake. For example, when you go for a sales meeting, you see a CEO there, you see a finance manager, you actually end up focusing on the CEO, assuming he's the decision maker. But the finance manager could be the person allocating the budget, or he might go and tell the CEO, sir, not this year, maybe next year you can look at it. See, if you don't focus on him or what his motivations are, you might end up losing the sale. That's one. Or even take it down to the example of, you asking your mom and dad for permission, when you were young. You spoke to your dad, but the veto power could be with your mom, or in some cases the other way. So we must remember not to categorize people based on appearances and or how we assume that the kind of role they would play in the sales process. That's the first thing. Second thing is that salespeople assume it is their responsibility to keep on talking. They go out there, talk, 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 and make their presentations, and then after that, ah, what to do now? But that is not what selling is all about. The most important aspect to selling is listening. Understand what the customer is saying, not just verbal or spoken words, but body language. Listen to it, understand whether it is going in the right direction. You have to change your strategy midway. These are things that you can actually identify only if you listen, not just with your ears, but with your eyes and mind as well. So, listening is something that a lot of salespeople don't do. And that's again a trap that they fall into. They assume they have to just keep on talking, 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 and talking. The third thing, again, in today's world, something a very common trap that salespeople fall into is they talk technical. Oh, this is 4K technology. Oh, this is curved edge technology. Oh, this is auto transmission, blah, 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 whatever. But what is important for the customer is what it means to them in terms of benefit. Now, the feature is only valid till such time it translates into a benefit for the person you're talking to. So make sure, even though today technology is there and people can Google and check what it means and so on and so forth, they have given you the time to talk to them to just reinforce their understanding, for you to clarify, for you to make sure that they are right. So please go ahead and take some time to do that. Make sure that you talk benefits, not just features, and avoid jargon or technical terms as much as possible. Even though you might assume the customer is a very knowledgeable person, he might have met a lot of other salespeople, so you go ahead and talk all these technical terms. But no, for a moment, think about the customer as somebody who's a layperson and try and talk to them in terms of what it means to them in terms of benefit. Okay. And fourth thing, a lot of salespeople, and this is an impression that's been created over the decades. People assume salespeople will come, make commitments which will not be met, and then walk away, and they will not bother about the customer. So this perception is already there in the customer's mind. May not be there on top, but it's somewhere down there that he's going to kind of listen to your presentation or what you're going to say with a little bit of skepticism. So when you make promises, make sure that the promises are some which are reasonable from the customer's viewpoint as well, not just yours. And make sure that you follow through on those promises and deliver on them. That's very critical. Following through on that, fifth part, most salespeople, once the sale is done, the contract has been signed, just move on. Drop the customer like a hot potato. That is a colossal waste of your time, let me tell you. And I will tell you why. Because you've gone through the effort of convincing somebody and making them an ambassador for yourself. Because if he has accepted your arguments, your presentation, and has signed a contract with you, which means he's committed to you, to what you've said, not just your organization, you have a great opportunity of creating an ambassador. You should be able to use it effectively for your future business as well. When you walk out after he signs the contract, sir, thank you very much. Would it be okay for me to put you down as a reference in case somebody wants to refer, as a client, how happy you are with the process, with our presentation, with our product? Would it be okay for me to do that? And if the customer is really happy with you, I'm sure they will have no objection. And one more thing, word of mouth publicity is the best form of publicity. So if actually you end up convincing them very well, following through on your promise of whatever you promise to deliver and make sure that happens, you're going to have an excellent ambassador for you. You're going to get references. In fact, you can ask them for references. Sir, is there anybody else you would like to refer to me that I can talk to about my product, about my service, about what I'm talking about? So once they refer, they will do half the selling for you. You only have to do the balance half, which is make sure that whatever commitments they need, you honor them. So keep all these five things in mind, and these are the common traps that people fall into. If they become aware of this and make sure that they, cover all these gaps or traps or mistakes that they make, selling would be very effective. Of course, there are a lot of other things in play here, the pricing, the strategy, the presentation. But I'm assuming with all that being in place, these are the common traps that people fall into, which actually loses them their business or loses them their opportunity, loses them the final goal that they want to achieve. Yeah, think about it. This is all I wanted to share with you in this video. But however, having said that, if there are more things that you feel should be included, please send me a message, put your comments out there so that I can include them, because there are a lot of things which I have done on a very generic basis, and I might have missed out a few which are very specific, which need to be focused on as well. So please feel free to leave your comments. Okay. And in the meanwhile, would appreciate if you subscribe to this channel, motivate me to keep doing more and more of this. Like them if you like the video, and do look forward to seeing you soon in my next videos. In the meanwhile, thank you for tuning in with me. Stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy. Bye for now.